So we need to clap to you did a B-Tech, so
Yeah,
you know.
I've got a B-Tech.
Yeah. So 3, 2, fun.
Gag.
I actually don't look that bad today.
You look good.
I did this makeup in 30 minutes. I don't know how.
I did this in 2 hours.
Let's just cough like a man before I start. Hello everybody! Welcome back to The Gag. I am Daphne and Tayris is doing whiteface today. What's your name, darling?
I'm Mentally Jill.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mentally Jill. So wait, actually, hold on. Before we acknowledge Mentally Jill's presence here, I have to say, so this week is the jankiest episode of The Gag possible, hence why I've got Mentally Jill. So Tayris is currently in a play. Congratulations, love that for her. I'm gonna go see it on Thursday. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I am very ill and I sound like I'm detransitioning. And we had to find a little special guest to come in and do this 2020 style gag video. Because only the real ones will remember. You would be too young. But when we did the gag originally, it was just virtually because it was like COVID. So it's taken me back. This is taking me right back. Also, 2020 was when I worked in the call centre. As you pointed out, I do look like I'm working in a call centre. So it's all coming around full circle.
13, so... No, I wasn't.
Okay, right. I've done math ain't mathing. How old are you? You're 19?
I'm just turned 20, so I'm a very young 20.
Right,
Very
and you don't smell
young.
a day over 65.
Young at heart, but also
Yeah, young at
physically.
heart. You're like plasma. You're gonna have to look that name up now.
Oh, I've got a list of names for the viewers. I've got a list of names.
I'm starting to realise more and more that this was a perfect match for someone who doesn't really watch Drag Race.
I
come and
watch
do
it.
this.
I skip through. My issue with Drag Race is I skip through a lot of it.
Wait, hold on. So we're starting a Drag Race review. The first thing you say is, my issue with Drag Race.
No, it's just a lot of... whenever I'm kicked off about the 40-minute episodes, I was like, I love it because I'm 20 years old, I have the young attention span. So I'm like, I can't watch anything over half an hour. I'll watch a film, never finish it because I'll just get bored. So with Drag Race, when it's like all the workroom chat and then RuPaul and the hilarious Ross Matthews comes in, I just skip through it. I just can't be arsed. So I struggled a bit watching today.
Ross Matthews.
Yeah, it's just so I struggled watching today's episode a bit, so I put it in 1.5 speed just because I need to watch it fully.
Yeah, if it's not on TikTok and you can't put it in 2 speed, then you're not interested.
Well, an hour, what is it, an hour and 20 minutes? Like,
no, if it was an hour and 20 minutes, there's no way I'd agree
it's an hour.
Week. Just an hour, just a subtle hour. I always think a whole story can always be told in an hour. So movies that go on longer than an hour, not for me. It's just not for me. I tried to watch Gone Girl. 3 hours. 3 hours? I don't have time for that. I mean, I do. I'm not doing anything else, but I don't mentally have time for that. I like my Netflix, I go through it and it's just films I've started, and it's like the last film which I watched all the way through was Pitch Perfect. To start off is the end of the last episode. They come in, the first person went goodbye, Hershey, and Plain Jane looked like she was crying for some reason. Like she just had like these like faint like mascara marks like running down her face. I was like, I never saw you cry during the entire episode. So unless something happened, unless a mandatory meeting did beat you up, I don't know what happened now.
Hopefully, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of the discourse on Twitter, and everyone's going like, Plain Jane, like, arsehole, cunt. But I personally love it because it's a reality TV show. I sort of live for drama, love bitches going for bitches. So like when everyone's like, it's boring, like everyone was saying All Stars 8 was boring because nothing happened. And it was, like, I didn't watch it, but 2 times speed.
Call a spade a spade.
Most of it. But also, like, I need the drama. I want a wretched cunt in there just to like stir shit up and make everyone feel shit. And that's why I joined the Brighton drag scene.
So they have like their little chats. Oh my god, I'm gonna miss her so much. Blah 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 blah. I don't think much happened really. A mandatory meeting was saying, "Why are you coming for me so much, Plain Jane?" Plain Jane was giving her. This is the thing. You say you like drama. I like drama too, but I like drama that's actually delivered with like a sense of wit about it. This is why I love people like Gia Gunn, because she's so wretched in everything that she does, but there's always like a sense of like irony or wit to it. With Plain Jane, I just think she's like kind of just saying stuff for the sake of saying stuff, and like it's not coming across to me as like particularly authentic. It felt like she either went in there being like, well, this is a role I'm gonna play and I'm just gonna play it and not have any kind of emotions to do with it. Fair enough, if that's how you want to get your gigs, get your gigs. But it also feels like a producer potentially told her to never break out of this character, and it's kind of limiting her a little bit in terms of actually being authentic. It just feels very robotic to me.
I feel like I can see where she'd take the character from, because reality TV, you want to get the screen time. But
yeah,
she's doing it in a way where it does just feel like punching down, and I don't know if it keeps on going, it's going to get a bit tired, because it does seem like, especially if it's a mandatory meeting, like, I feel like make it funny, but make it entertaining.
Yeah. Well, that's the number one thing with like reading. It's gotta be funny. You can't just come up to someone and be like, "You're fat." You're rubbish.
You're rubbish.
There's this video. I think I'm gonna try and find a way to insert it in. Find a way on my little computer. There's this video of this like guy interviewing school children in like the 90s, and it's something I quote all the time. He's like asking this little boy about something like mundane, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't really know about this," and then his friend just comes up and just goes, "You're rubbish."
What do you think of the school? Is it a good school?
It's alright.
What do you think of the teachers? Do you like them?
They're alright.
And what about the headmaster?
He's alright.
Right. What do you want?
You're rubbish.
And then also later on in the video, this girl was like,
I don't like it when they give you homework, but it's like impossible.
So what
and I don't like it when they put animals in lorries and take them to the continent.
No, but
also,
I
I
mean,
don't like fat people.
Well.
it's a great video. It's a great.
That's how it feels being big in the Brighton drag scene, because everyone's just like so skinny, never in a corset, and then I show up like.
I thought you meant like big as in status, and I was like,
oh, well,
neither
top
of us
two.
know about that.
I feel like I have to corset, because if I don't wear a corset, my stomach, like, no one wants to see that. No one's paying. Well, no one's paying to see me.
Fat Cabaret would beg to differ. Hashtag fatty fatty boom boom. Hashtag who ate all the pies. You should do a fat cabaret. Not calling you fat at all.
Regretting this guest spot now.
Would you do one?
I do. Well, if they're paying.
Yeah, they only asked me for the trans fats edition, so.
Oh. Is it still going? Where is it?
It's not. The person that used to run it doesn't even do drag anymore. Love you, Chubb Rob. Love ya. They come into the workroom. Plain Jane's like, I'm just going to shine like the bright star I am. Very Leah Michelle. And a mandatory meeting is like, well, stars are full of gas. And I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, oh, yuck. Go on, Mandy.
Keeping a note of how many times the episode made me laugh, because it's a comedy episode, and that was one of the few. Far from few.
Do you know what? Thank you for saying that, because whenever we do like a comedy episode on The Gag, I always make a laugh tally of how many times I laugh, and like Tayris laugh, not a fucking laugh tally again. But it makes sense. It does make sense to do that. I didn't this episode. I was going to, but I didn't laugh. So I was just looking at a blank notes page.
I think I got about 3 in the end, and it was just.
Oh.
None of it was during the actual comedy challenge, but.
Oh, there was something that really
dreaded.
made me laugh, but it wasn't in the skit. I did the most amount of laughing at RuPaul's dancing, to be honest, during that skit. Which, I know we're like fast forwarding. RuPaul just like, it's like a skit with like her contestants, so yeah, see how funny they are. And then like, and now there's RuPaul halfway through the skit who's going to do 3 minutes of awkward dancing. and then it ends, and then you're like, okay, and then we go on to the next skit again.
It was very much given the sort of end of Cruising with Jay McDonald, where it's like, oh, your nan's going to come up and do a song. It was I don't know what it was about, whatever she's promoting, but I'm not going to say
and that was an old song as well, so like, it's good. It had a good beat. Are you a Real Housewives fan?
I'm not. It's something that I've been wanting to get to, but I can't unless it's coming up on my For You page, TikTok, and I can scroll through the highlights, just the nans, definitely. Unless I can like look through the highlights, I just can't sit and watch full episodes because I just like I don't sit through full episodes for gag.
No one does. No, not a single soul does. I love Real Housewives a lot. At first I was like, it's too overwhelming to get into because you don't know what season to start with or like which franchise to start with. Because like some of them have been going on for like, I think OC is on their like 20th season now, so like 20 years is like a crazy amount of time like to catch up on. But if you want to start, I do recommend it. This is for anyone listening. If you want to start, go unconventional, go and watch Real Housewives of Melbourne. Elite television. Every single episode just so incredible. Australians, and you don't watch the traitors, do you?
I watched the first series and then before the
got
second
rejected
series,
for season 2, and that's why you don't watch the second one.
That's
what I did with Big Brother.
Season 3. I watched the first series and I thought, yeah, it's really good. And then I watched it back and it was like, it's a bunch of adults just running around the castle screaming, I'm not a traitor. And I was like, I can't stomach it. It was just, I thought it was fucking awful. And I thought, I'm not going to subject myself to that again. So I didn't watch it.
Subject yourself. You have to subject yourself.
I can't commit these days.
The Australian one is a lot better than the UK one, I think, in my personal opinion. I think Australia just do reality TV so much better. But the season 2 of the Australian one, every single person is so fucking clueless. It's kind of turns into a documentary where you're just like fascinated by how like brainless some people could be. Shout out Annabelle. Annabelle is, or Pigeon Lady, Sarah, the Pigeon Lady. She kind of just like sits and like looks like a pigeon when people are arguing. It's incredible. It's incredible television. Anyway, talking about incredible television, RuPaul's Drag Race. So RuPaul comes in, announces we're gonna back by popular demand, even though this was on All Stars 8, and so when they filmed this, they wouldn't have seen All Stars 8, and so they have no fucking clue what this RDR Live is.
And also no one just asked for it back.
No one asked for it back, not a single soul. I mean, I don't find SNL funny, so RDR Live, it kind of holds up because I'm not laughing at either, so it's kind of equal. The hilarious Ross Matthews comes in. Oh no, wait, hold on. So this is what happens when I don't have Tayris. I need notes. I need to, even if I don't make them myself, I need to like have a little look. They are assigning parts. Mirage is like, I want the host straight away. And then they're like, are you sure, girl? You don't seem that confident in hosting. She's like, yeah, I can do it 100%. And then Saphira's like, I want to do it. Or Saphira's like, I want to do host. And immediately Mirage is like, okay, well, I could do a host job as well. And then Saphira's like, okay, what, Diva, you do it, whatever. And immediately, as soon as she does that, Mirage is like, I guess if everyone's forcing me to do the role, I guess I'll do it. And like immediately I was like, okay, well, I know this girl's going home this episode. There was no way about it. The other little thing that happened, because it was pretty chill, like everyone was like, I want this role, no one else wants it, okay, cool, I'll take it. Apart from Plasma, and she is gunning for the news anchor role. I don't know why. It was possibly one of the most boring roles of the whole thing. And she was like, I don't want to do Barbara because I don't want to be stuck in this like old, like timey, like referencing and stuff like that. I was like, girl, if you're good at it, just do it. Like, I don't get why you would come on and be like, okay, the first actual challenge we're doing that's not like a ball, and like it's the first thing that we have to actually use our own skills at. Why not just take the skill that you're best at and just do that? Like, why would you be like, I need to show the judges versatility so early on in the season? Like, fair enough if it's like you've done it like quite a few times and like the stick is getting old, but like stick to what you know, girl. Like, I don't get why there was so much contention with that.
And for me, also when she was like, she doesn't want to like do it wrong or make it like offend it was like, it just felt a bit over the top, and it's like I don't think Barbara Streisand's watching it anyway. I mean, I don't know, but I can't imagine she's sitting through this shit. But it just felt very like, well, maybe. I just felt it was very over the top and a bit dramatic, and it was just get a grip.
Yeah, for sure. But she ends up taking the Barbara Streisand role, and it works out in her favour later on in the episode. But she's talking, and I asked Tayris what her thoughts were on the episode, and she was like, the overriding comment I remember her saying is, Plaza reminds me of a reject from the Glee project, because she's very like just snorted a bunch of batteries. Like it's all a lot. It's all very stagecoach for my liking. They get a walkthrough with Ross Matthews, the hilarious Ross Matthews, who contributes nothing. Nothing to the narrative, gives no advice other than be like, oh yeah, you used to work with fruit and veg, that's great, yeah, that's gonna help you do this. Like, that did make me cackle when she was like, oh, I'm gonna be great at this. I used to like, you know, work with fruit and veg. Why wouldn't I be good at doing the politician that I've never fucking heard of, and neither had she?
Yeah, I feel it was a bit weird doing a politician that you didn't know. And
do you know Leslie Graham? Was that it?
No, isn't Leslie Graham the like 5'4" guy? No, I'm thinking of Leslie Jordan on Will and Grace.
Leslie Graham.
I'm doing a Google.
British motorcyclist from the 1930s. Yeah, so him. At first I thought it was a woman, so I was like, oh okay, I guess she looks like a woman, that's like half right. But it turns out it's actually a man.
But
anyway, she doesn't do good. Mirage being like, I don't know how to do this. Like, hosting is like a very, to me, I don't know if this is rich for me to say this, considering I don't host anything, but to be a drag queen, you have to be able to do a little something with hosting. Like, not just like, when they were like, have you ever hosted before? She was like, oh yeah, I've done an intro and an outro. But like, God, that's like comparing. That's not really like hosting a show, you know?
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to be a drag queen, you have to sort of be able to have that stage presence and have a mic and hold yourself, not just... I feel like... I mean, I've never been booked, I've only been doing drag half an hour, but I feel like I could get a microphone and do a couple of jokes, crack a couple out. But if you're just going to get up and dance, it's not the type of drag I'd watch. If you just go up and do a little dance, do the splits and then walk off, great. So
they start off with Tsunami Muse and Morphine Love Dion doing this like, because at first it seemed like it was like a news segment, but then there was an actual news segment later on, so I don't know what this was meant to be.
I just thought it was so dull. The whole weather thing I didn't get. It felt a bit weird to sort of go a bit all apocalyptic and be like, oh, global warming. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't, like, it was just a bit like,
Yeah, okay, well, the reviews are in. It was a bit, I actually thought Maya wasn't terrible. Like, when she was like, can I get a lift? I was like, oh, okay. I didn't laugh, like, don't get me wrong, but like, I was like, okay, fine. Like, it was like when, like, I can't remember who it was, but someone was like, I've been reading Jackie Collins since I was 2 or something. And I was like, there's not a chance in hell you know who Jackie Collins is. She was like reading it off the teleprompter like Jackie Collins. Like, there was just no way that she knew who Jackie Collins was. And then it goes to Geneva Carr being a politician that we don't know who that is. And there was a weird poster of Rebecca Glasscock in the background, and I couldn't figure out why.
I didn't catch that.
There was just this weird poster of Rebecca Glasscock, but like in this like sex look where she like had, you know, those like really like big like lips that you put on like to like it was like a sex doll. Like she was just kind of there, like I was like, oh right, okay, well.
I feel like
the
with
Queens are coming back.
Drag Race, oh yeah, I've got you now. A lot of it, I feel like it's just not sort of making sense anymore. I feel like they're just sort of having a laugh with it and doing a silly one. Like last season with the, or was it 14, 15, I don't know. But the one with like where they was doing all the fart noises, it just got a bit like, I can't stand that sort of like.
Could not stand it. Could not stand it, yeah.
It feels like they're just sort of being a bit silly and being a bit like,
Well, it was also a writer's strike during the time that they filmed this, which was very clear in the result. But
hilarious was Matthews wrote it.
Yeah, they got to figure out. He came up in another skit. I was like, oh great, good. I hadn't been hurting from laughing in a while, so he came along. Oh, and then Mirage came in dressed as Darth Vader. No, not Darth Vader, the Grim Reaper. And she's like, welcome to the show. And like even that she had to read off a teleprompter. She couldn't remember that line. And then they do the little intros. I also thought it was weird that they made them get into different outfits and different makeup to do these like intros where they're like
I get it's probably an SNL thing, but it just seemed a bit like it took the piss a bit, like posing with balloons and everything.
And I was in full makeup, not that I do different makeup each time, but if I was there and I had to like get into a whole new look, I'd be like, why? For what? For this little 2-second of me going, check this one out. Plain Jane keeps on getting Jimbo like comparisons, but this whole skit was it was pretty much the same as Jimbo and Jessica Wilde and the last All Stars, where they were like, we've got big tits. Like it was all very cock destroyers and like, but like not as good. I do feel like when it's like improv and stuff, it is kind of a little bit funnier, even if it's like really terrible improv, because that's like funny in itself. When they have to like read from a teleprompter and do these like scripted things, it's like you can just tell that it's like writers that are like in their 40s.
Very much.
What reference can we do now? Oh, of course, Barbra Streisand. Like it's just all very ho-hum, to be honest. Mirage is hosting, terrible. Not good at all. She looked gorgeous, but she always does.
Yeah, I love the whole little purple thing she had going on with the feather on top. Like, looked great.
That's something you remember.
I do remember. No, it's because it's on my screen there.
No, it's because it's there, yeah.
Cheating. But yeah, the hosting was, I remember that because it was shit. But
yeah.
Just sort of
and the fact that they added on like the laugh applause when no one was there in the audience just made it even worse. When she was like, yeah, go on, clap. And it's just like an AI automated like. And then RuPaul comes on, does a song. We were all really grateful for that. And then it was...
Moved on very quickly from that.
We jumped on quickly. It was the news anchor one with a mandatory meeting and Dawn. Again, nothing really happened. Nothing was memorable to me until Q came in as the brick. And as the first brick that was thrown at Stonewall, how did you feel about that representation?
I think I look great today. I'm not wearing blush, sorry. Got sidetracked.
Oh, I never. I stopped contouring because the girl, I don't know if you watch Canada's Drag Race, but the girlfriend experience was like, I find it so tacky when like you've got like brown like smudge marks. I'm like, T, why am I like putting on contour when I don't actually think it looks good, just because it's like a drag queen thing to do? So I just stopped contouring.
How many products do you actually wear on your face then?
2. I use the same brown foundation for my lips, nose contour, eyebrows, and well, when I used to do contour, I used to do that as well. And I use black Snazaroo. I want to paint you one day. That would be fierce.
I think you should paint me on a Tuesday, and then I'll go to lip sync and do a Daphne number.
Who was it that asked me for a number. Rio, the cheeky bugger. Wait, I shouldn't use government names. Aurora Blake was like, can I just use one of your numbers because you're not using them? I was like,
I want to do the weakest link number because I've been stalking
the one that you've not
profile.
actually seen live.
I haven't seen you perform live at all.
Yeah, that's true. No one else. No.
Have we done the Barbara Streisand one yet?
Oh, okay, yeah, and this was technically the best one. Technically is a loose phrase. Yes, so Nympho wins, Safari, and Glee Project, Plasma. Do this like sing. Like, I don't watch SNL, so I don't know if this is like a reference to a skit that they've already done, but like a celebrity impersonation
neither.
singing Christmas songs. This was I was gonna say this is fine, but this was I don't want to say this is fine and let that be like the producers be like, okay, cool, well, yeah, because they're coming to me for the opinions, but like I don't want to be like, this is fine
because they're watching this.
Settle, because we deserve better. We deserve better than this. I thought Safari
I'm paying
was
£3.40
good.
a month for World of Wonder, and I'm getting this.
Oh, same. And I'm not watching Alyssa's Secret. Nymphia was very unsure. It felt like a gun was being held to her head the entire time. Plasma, the only part that I, again, didn't laugh, but was like, oh, okay, it was when she, like, was like, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I think that's literally the only reason why she won, to be honest.
And the little belt at the end, that was quite summit. I mean, it was slim pickings for a winner. Like, it was
slim pickings.
It would have been, if it was up to me, it would have been a season 14. You're all in the bottom because it was.
Yeah, all 14 of you have to lip sync for your life.
Yeah, all to the same song as well at once.
Yeah, Dark Lady. So it goes onto the runway. It's Night of 1,000 Shares. What share would you do?
I'm not a big share person, if I'm being honest.
Do you like anything, Jill? Do you like anything?
I'm 20 years old. If it was like Night of 1,000's anyone under 50, like, I'm not like the sort of Queen's Arms gay. The only share I know is when she's on the cover of the ABBA cover album she did, where she's in the little blonde thing, little blonde moment. Custom made.
Yeah, and she made this. She made this today.
This whole thing I made today, all from this fabric, is this lovely. Like, I haven't hemmed the sleeves yet, but I didn't have time.
Oh, okay.
But
well, I take
bit
all
of
that back.
tassel. Wanted a little dance outfit for my half-assed numbers where I just sort of walk forwards and backwards.
The bucking queen of Brighton.
Yeah, dancing queen.
For Night of 1,000 Shares, I would have probably done. She did a production of West Side Story only with her. She commissioned out a time slot to go on TV to make this herself, and she was green screened as all the other characters of West Side Story. And at the beginning of it, she's like, it's like really like a dark background, and she's just kind of standing there, and she goes, "Hello. Today's entertainment will be West Side Story, and yes, I will be playing all the parts." It's just the most batshit piece of television ever. It's 15 minutes long. I highly suggest you go and watch it. But there's a point where like she's dressed up as the guy and the girl, and they're like kissing, but it's like a green screen. It's weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's entertainment, I am proud to present West Side Story. I will be playing all the parts. Thank you.
You're never alone, you're never disconnected. You're home with your own.
First up, we have Tsunami Muse. This was perfectly all right for her, you know. I thought in the past her looks have been a little bit not questionable, but like for someone who like her first line was, "I'm the fashion queen." I couldn't really tell from half the package that she bought. But this looks alright.
I thought the whole little silver ensemble, I thought it was good. It was safe.
I thought the New Delusion looked very good. Yeah, like I thought this is actually, to be honest, one of her better looks. I didn't get Cher instantly, I guess the wig, but when they show the reference pictures, I get what, like, so basically they get told that you can only go on Getty Images,
Yeah,
and whatever
they choose
images
from
are
the
on
list.
there you can use. So I like a lot of like the really iconic looks for some reason just weren't there, but this was nice. I liked it. Next up is Morphine Love Dion. Again, this is very cute. I kind of think it's a little bit safe. Like I do feel like the first shawl should have been like a lot thicker and more grander, but like what are you gonna do with, you know, when you're a local girl and you can't afford these packages? Like it's insane how much you have to fucking spend on the show to get it back. I mean, so like, you know, like props to you, but I would have preferred it to be a little bit thicker, but it was good.
Yeah, I thought well, like it wasn't. I don't think any of these particular runways were awful. Like they were all good with what they're referencing.
Yeah, even a
thought,
mandatory meeting.
Yeah, not a lot of them stuck out like the whole episode.
It was. I do think this has been the weakest episode of the series so far. I think even the Meet the Queens was more entertaining than this.
Yeah, I was very bored.
Really? You haven't expressed it so far, Jill. Yeah, Morphine, lovely. I don't think she can ever look terrible. Like, her makeup is always impeccable. And like, yeah, I thought, good girl. Go on, girl. Okay, this one, if you say, I don't think this was terrible, but Myra Amon the Page, it was a weird reference picture for her to pick. Was her at the premiere at Burlesque, and like Cher was wearing literal leggings, like fabric, not leather leggings or like clever or like anything fun. It was literally just like Tesco's Florence and Fred leggings. But then she like dragged it up and gave it a load of stones and stuff like that. But then it looked like she was trying to do Turn Back Time Cher, which Megami did later on much more successfully. But she didn't have the Turn Back Time hair. Because she was going with the Burlesque premiere one hair, which again didn't really match. But I just, with this whole look, you should have just scrapped it and been like, well, I'm going for Turn Back Time and get the big old perm out. I don't think she should have been in the bottom. I didn't think she should have been in the bottom last week for that like gingham, like Vivienne Westwood, like with the like safety pin through her nose. Like, I thought it was pretty cool, to be honest. Like, I think they just have a bit of a thing against Maya. I don't know, like, it's a conspiracy theory that I'm really interested in right now.
Maybe.
That was a Britney Spears.
Get on the Reddit.
The next one you're looking for is the red cheap looking thing.
The Geneva car one, I've got that one.
The Geneva car, yeah.
I actually quite liked it.
Oh, Jill, come on.
I thought it was...
Jill said
it was very... I love the feathers, love the little headpiece going on, the little hat. I thought it was campus tits. Wasn't a fan of the silver shoes with the red jumpsuit. Other than that, I enjoyed it.
You don't have an issue with the cheap Zaza fabric, like one that looks like sequin if you're like really far back, but when you look, it's just printed shiny foil.
Just felt a bit like a corset cover, and I didn't like. I thought it was very blocky, and it ruined the whole proportions of the outfit. But the feathers and the hat, loved. Like something I'd wear to lip sync.
Yeah, and that's why you didn't win. So
Fuck yeah.
we go on to Mirage. I love you, darling. I love you, babes. Still didn't win, but we go on to Mirage, and this was actually this wasn't my favorite of the night. No, that's a lie. But this was nice. I thought this was nice. I don't like share the same frustrations that RuPaul had, being like, this is completely different era hair, because like if it looks good, it looks good. I know that you're trying to do like a replica, but like this hair, even if I just saw it from the neck up, would still be like, oh, she's probably doing Cher.
The lilac is stunned. The feathers at the bottom, love. I think the whole like nude the rhinestones. I thought it was a really good outfit, and I thought it should have saved her from being in the bottom two.
I do as well, because, okay, who do you think, well, we'll get onto it actually, Megami, and this was properly turn back timeshare. The bodysuit was, like, her body is actually really quite gorgeous, it's quite giving. The rhinestones on, like, the lining of the way that it goes up, because it has these, like, weird lines that go through the bodysuit. I thought this was actually this was kind of cunt for her. I didn't understand the weird white under eye that she had. I didn't know if that was like a drug reference or like
outfit though, stunning, and I imagine it'd be one of those where you see it in person with the rhinestones, and it would look like. Just the makeup was very off-putting. Just wasn't a fan
the makeup
of it.
Was
really sort of
weird.
Just threw me.
But the hair is nice. I think this is actually her best look so far for me.
Oh, yeah, I'd agree.
Next up, we have Plain Jane, and like, love her or hate her, this look was impeccable. This look was to die for. This was
stunning. This
looked like the original Bob Mackie dress. I have no idea how she could even afford one sleeve of these ostrich feathers, because ostrich feathers are fucking expensive. So to have the entirety of the body, like, it looks expensive. It probably was a lot of money, but she looks good. The bitch looks good.
Worth it. The whole outfit with the feathers. Gorgeous,
absolutely gorgeous. She looks like a ripe old fruit. I need to show you. Do you remember Trisha Goddard?
No.
Is that before your time? No. Okay. So Trisha was like Jeremy Kyle, but if like Jeremy Kyle was like less punchable.
Okay. So I
Trisha.
know. Yeah, I've heard of Trisha. Yeah.
There's an episode of Trisha called "You Can't Be Fat and Sexy." And it's these, like, a bunch of, like, bigger people coming on being like, I want to lose weight. And the one girl in particular comes on and is like, I really want to lose weight, but my uncle doesn't want me to because he thinks I look beautiful the way I am. The uncle is not her biological uncle, but is her dad's best friend. And he comes on and he's like, yeah, I think she's fucking fit. And it's really, really weird, bizarre, like, dynamic. Anyway, so she is crying about how she's fat and wants to lose weight. He is like, no, I think you look really good the way you are. And then this woman pipes up and goes, yes, I do think you would look a bit better if you lost a little bit of weight. Do it with the clubs, it's great fun. And this other woman pipes up and is like, excuse me, are you part of the Tory party by any chance? And this woman just snaps and goes, this ain't about politics, fatty. It's an incredible piece of television. Oh, why was I saying this story? Yeah, she goes in that, you look like a ripe old fruit. And it's something I say all the time. And Plain Jane did look like a ripe old fruit. Not fat.
Yeah.
But you can be fat and
Not
sexy.
fat.
According to Latoya's uncle, I can't remember her name. Next up, we have a mandatory meeting. Again, this is such an improvement for her. Like, this is one of her best looks, if not her best, most successful look so far.
I loved it. I didn't like the top bit, how it sort of, I feel like it crossed off a bit too high. And just the exposed waist wasn't a fan. Love the little boa thing she had going on.
The tall boa was very cute.
Speaking of tall boa, doing one myself. Got a little.
Oh, is it a no-sew one? I also made a big yellow one that I gave to Glue.
No, it is a sew one.
It is a sew one. Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah. But I'm
I did a no-sew one that took me 4 days. It was ridiculous.
4 days?
It took me 4 days because I had to cut them all out individually, then tie it onto a piece of ribbon, but like tight enough that it would like be like poofy, and so it was a fucking nightmare.
This took me about half an hour.
And I didn't even end up wearing it. Oh wow, work! You are such a little seamstress.
I learned to sew before I did drag because I knew I wanted to do drag, but I thought I'll learn sew first. And I learned everything in a really weird order. Like, because I thought if I'm doing it, I want to do it right. I want to be able to do everything myself. So I learned to sew. And it's played off because lip sync final, like, sewed all like the tearaways, all the reveals, everything.
Yeah.
A lot of my Wilco number, I've sewed the Wilco's uniform and painted it myself. Like,
yeah, that one I can
everything,
tell.
like. Yeah.
Love you, Jill. Next up, we have Dawn.
I hated it.
I don't like it. I did not. Okay, thank God. Okay, thank God. I thought it was very bulky. It didn't give me Cher at all. I know she had the reference picture, but like the colors, like I don't see Cher wearing orange and blue together. Like I don't see it. Her makeup,
She looked
not
a bit like
Cher
an
in
ice
any
lolly.
kind of way. She did look like a fab. She looked like a fab.
The white leggings with the blue frilly bit, the fur, the wit. I didn't do it for me at all.
It was giving me more
Probably
Appa,
my
to be
least
honest.
favourite of.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did think Maya's was a bit cheap, but this, yeah, like creatively, this was the strangest choice for me. Next up, we have Q, and this is a very quintessential Cher look. Gorgeously done. Q for me hasn't missed in terms of runways yet. I do feel like she is, even though she's like in the top consistently, she is kind of a little bit overlooked. Because so far she hasn't really stumbled with anything.
I see it going as sort of a front runner, almost sort of like a bit Jan, where it's like just constantly safe and should have won. But I think by the time, if she hasn't won anything, I feel like she should have won something by now.
Yeah, it feels like the producers or Rue don't particularly care for her. I don't really understand why. I think she's really proven herself, but I guess she's not the loudest personality and she's not really giving a lot of like great sound bites. But like you know, when drag's good, like drag's good. So next up is Plasma. I thought this was okay. Pretty basic rendition of like a very gorgeous gown in the reference picture. So. And her makeup to me looks a little
I also feel like
muddy.
The top half, loved the top half. The bottom half was just a bit. I feel like she could have reworked it a lot more and done something with it because it just wasn't.
Yeah,
doing
it was
for
a
me
weird
at all.
placement of where the skirt went. It like kind of showed her. It's not that she has a belly because she's tiny, but it kind of like curved down to like make her look like she's 2 weeks pregnant. You know, like not fully showing, but there's something brewing in there.
Yeah.
Next up was Nymphia Wind.
Loved it.
Did you?
I thought wasn't a fan of the whole bra and panties, but the whole headpiece with the cape, I thought I loved. And I'm not usually a big like person where it's just like stick on a bra and panties and call it a day. Most people in Brighton, but with this, I thought something about it was just very ethereal. I don't know if that's the right word, but
the actual look
headpiece
itself was okay for me. It was fine. It was a bra and panties, and you know the headpiece was very cool. My issue is, are we not done with like? Not to get very Brighton on you, but are we not done with like cultural references that aren't yours? Like I feel like like I don't know, as soon as it came out I was a bit like, oh, okay, because like it was kind of like they've referenced it on the show before when they did the Cher musical. They did a whole song about cultural appropriation and how it was a different time, but she is in this time now coming out in it. So I don't know, I just was kind of a bit like, if I was Egyptian, I don't know how I'd feel about this, but the actual look aesthetically, like I don't really have any like qualms with it.
Yeah, looking at it now, Take Two, aesthetically gorgeous.
Take Two the remix.
But yeah, seeing it from that view, didn't really think about it like this. Typical white man.
How fucking dare you?
Very narrow-minded.
Must be nice and privileged, huh? Last up was Sapphira, and this for me was the standout of the whole night. I thought she looked so regal. The way she walks and presents herself is just so, as the kids would say, mother. Like it just exudes so much confidence and power. And like when you see her walking down the runway and you see Mirage, even though Mirage does give like a lot of like fierce like movements, you could just tell from the runways alone who should have been the host of this whole show, because she just feels like she's just so in control of herself. The color looked gorgeous on her. I loved it. I thought it was impeccable.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same. The blue headpiece below the wig, and then the feathers, I want to say, coming off, and the whole thing, great. Probably my standout of the evening.
The tops are Plain Jane, Q, and Plasma, and we get Plasma as the winner. Do you agree with that?
I agree with Plasma as the winner. I feel like best out of a bad bunch. Plain, it didn't do anything for me. It was just a bit like the whole, and then I don't know who would replace her, because I'd have them all in the bottom, but I think definitely Plasma as the winner felt right.
I think if you're just going off the challenge alone, and like her runway was decent enough to justify it wasn't the best of the night in terms of runways, but yeah, I agree. And then the bottom was Maya, who I did not agree should have been there. Mirage, who, girl, it was awful, she should have been there, but the runway for me saved her. And then who else was in the Geneva Carr, who 100%,
who I think the runway should have saved.
I think Dawn should have been in the bottom, for me personally, because I didn't love the runway.
Yeah.
And I do not remember a single thing she did in the acting challenge. So
the news reporter too didn't do it for me. The outfit didn't. I think that's fair. Like,
yeah,
Geneva and Dawn.
So we get on to the lip sync, and it's Dark Lady, the most famous Cher song you can think of. And it is a wordy song. At first Mirage had it. It was all very gorgeous, the way she was spinning. I was like, the way her outfit was spun with her, gorgeous. But then the second you looked at her mouth, you realised there was not a single.
Yeah, there wasn't any words going on.
At the first line, she was okay. But it did go downhill from there. You could tell she wasn't sure of herself, and then just kind of gave up. Yeah, which is again a lot of the Brighton drag scene anyway. So I think
Misery
all of our
Business
hometowns
top
are
2.
represented.
Very wordy song, and when it's a wordy song and it's in the moment you forget all the words, it's just you have to move your mouth.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you've got no other choice. She did everything she could have, but that's half the battle.
Yeah, I don't think
knowing
the spinning and dancing should have saved her.
I see people online being like, oh, they should have just saved her anyway because she's better TV than Geneva, which I if we're doing that, then what's the point in doing the lip sync? I don't want to watch Geneva particularly much longer. But she did win that lip sync by default, but she did win that lip sync, so I don't think Mirage was robbed in any kind of way. It's just unfortunate.
No, not at all.
And then the girls had a very, very strong reaction to her going. Well, I mean, she had a meltdown.
She broke down.
She was not leaving that stage. She was like, thank you. And then just stood there for ages. I just thought it was weird that she acknowledged Rue saying goodbye, and then she was like, okay, I've acknowledged that, now I'm just gonna stand here for 20 minutes.
Get the airtime,
because we
honestly.
only saw get the airtime, exactly. Get that airtime.
The most
Mirage.
of it.
I mean, she's doing great things. If you've seen her song got 1 million streams on Spotify, that's pretty good.
How long has it been out?
I know, since the first episode. And then that was it. I didn't watch Untucked, never do.
I don't watch the episode half the time, let alone Untucked.
All right,
yeah.
well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
this
you for
week,
having
Jill.
me.
Of
online.
course, it's been an absolute pleasure virtually.
Virtually.
I'm gonna go die because I have used up all of the voice that I could use today. I'm gonna go rot away. And you're gonna go perform a lip sync, which tonight, I mean, by the time it's uploaded, it's already would have happened, but it's hosted by All Stars winner Amelia Deal. So,
yeah.
all very gorgeous.
Very fun. Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Gonna
well,
also
good luck
die because I'll
tonight.
do a number that might flop, but we'll have to
Right,
see.
when do your numbers flop other than the first one you did?
Yeah,
You can't knock them out,
can't walk
but you
away.
can walk away, and that's what I did halfway through that before.
Fuck off, did you actually?
I didn't. I loved it. I was like, anyone that's called Mentally Jill, I have to sit and watch this whole thing. I
I'm
loved it.
reinventing myself daily, so
Yeah.
might do the number again tonight. Dunno.
Oh yeah, do it. Yeah.
Throwback. Got the same green bob wig as well. That was
wish you
£4 off Shein.
Oh really?
Budget queen, yeah.
That was the best acting of this whole episode. Was me pretending like I was shocked that that was £4.
Better than the challenge.
Yeah, better than challenge, better than Matonda. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Love you all. Tune in next week where me and Tayris will be together again. And thank you, Jill.
Thank you for having me.
Gag.